Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So we've got some new developments surrounding Xbox Activision deal. So 2 days ago, CMA in UK published a report basically opposing the deal because they thought that this deal could potentially harm competition in the UK market and consumers as well. As a remedy, they suggested to split the company into smaller parts, otherwise the deal will be blocked. Okay, so some people started panicking, oh my god, this deal will never go through and that kind of stuff, while others were celebrating that, hey, finally this deal just got blocked. But that's not really the case, really, and quite opposite it seems, at least according to some analysts. And I've got gamesindustry.biz article over here, and you will find the link to this article in the description below. And they say analysts see CMA objection to Activision Blizzard acquisition as a sign deal will go through. So that's actually quite interesting because it's a stark contrast to what actually CMA said, right? So let's actually check the article. The UK Competition and Market Authority today released provisional findings of its investigation into possible anti-consumer impact of Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, going so far as to suggest the companies could address its concerns by breaking up the publisher. Like I said, they really suggested to split the company into smaller parts. Shortly after, Wedbush analysts Nick McKay and Michael Pachter released a note to investors saying the move suggests the merger is close to approval. Now that's actually interesting because it's a totally different approach, I would say, right? So here's what they said. We read today's release as signal that the UK knows it has a losing legal argument. They said, in our view, the FTC figured this out late last year and rushed to file suit to block the merger in the hope of being the first to extract concessions from Microsoft. We believe that the CMA reached the same conclusion during its review and accelerated its formal objection to the deal and proposed remedies in order to step in front of the FTC and gain bragging rights. The FTC has as yet to offer proposed remedies, and the CMA is listing structural remedies, has positioned itself to be the dragon slayer in this action. And the article continues, instead of splitting up the business, the analysts said they expect Microsoft to agree to a series of behavioral remedies. One such remedy might include keeping Call of Duty available on non-Microsoft platforms for a set number of years, such as company has already pledged to do. Our one remedy they don't believe Microsoft would agree to would be making Activision games like Call of Duty available on competing cloud gaming services. While that could be a sticking point in any deal that's made, the analysts don't expect it to be a long-term one. They concluded, we expect Microsoft acquisition of Activision to close no later than mid-May. So there we go, very interesting read indeed, and I was quite surprised to actually read it. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the rest of the article, but anyway, you can check the article in the description below anyway. So that's actually interesting because, listen, I'm no politician, and looks like there's more politics when it comes to this deal than the actual factual information and stuff. And even the things that Sony does, they claim A, B, C, D to FTC and CMA and European Commission because they complain about competition, that this deal would harm competition, that kind of stuff. But the only thing they are actually afraid of is that they may potentially lose leadership in gaming industry in Europe or States, for example, right? I mean, global one, really, to be honest with you. And what this deal is really going to it's going to make Sony, yes, to sweat a little bit more, that's for sure, but also to hopefully be more innovative. And they will hopefully start investing in some other ways of distributing games, maybe, right? I mean, they already did. I'm talking about cloud services and stuff, because everyone seems to be focusing a lot on these cloud services. Everything is moving to cloud, so I guess it's just a matter of time when gaming will do as well. It's not necessarily the immediate future, but long-term future for sure. And I think that's what the big play is all about. Not necessarily about things that's happening right now, but what's going to be happening like 5, 10, 15 years from now, I think, right? Because everyone seems to be focusing on cloud a lot. But listen, I'm no politician, I'm no lawyer, so these analysts hopefully know what they actually talk about. But it's actually quite interesting that we've kind of entered a phase where like FTC and Microsoft started asking Sony to provide some documentation on their claims, and Sony doesn't really want to provide all the documentation. So that kind of goes to show that, yeah, they might have went too hard on complaining on that deal, and maybe they don't have actually data to back this up. So I mean that's just my thoughts on it, really. But even Bobby Kotick actually complained recently, I think in one of the interviews, that Sony is not returning their calls anymore, right? Like, and they've got marketing deal with them and stuff. It's kind of weird situation, and I think it has more to do with the fact that Sony doesn't really want to discuss the acquisition with both Microsoft and Activision anymore, because I mean they've still got that deal for Call of Duty for next, I think, 2 years, so this and next year, and after that Activision will be free to sign a contract with whoever they wish, right? And if Microsoft ends up buying them, acquiring them, I would imagine that the marketing deal will be with Microsoft. They will be, hopefully, they should be a part of Microsoft by then, if these reports are true. So guys, it's funny games, to be honest with you. I just find this particular thing funny because when I actually read the CMA report, I mean not whole report, because apparently it's like very long and stuff, just some parts of it, and my initial reaction was like, damn, they went hard, like they really want to block that deal, and they don't really want to discuss any remedies, really, like, because splitting the company into smaller parts is off the table. But it looks like there's more to the story than meets the eye, I guess, right? Or some people actually did read the whole report, and they started finding some other interesting parts which kind of, I guess, left some doors open for some other, like, how do they call them? Some behavioral remedies, right? So like, hey, we will let you. We will leave Call of Duty on PlayStation for next 10 years, right? And another thing is that, and I reported that 2 days ago, that CMA did not even spoke about that particular long-term Call of Duty deal for Sony prior to that report. So looks like these behavioral remedies have not been even properly discussed. So I guess, yeah, there might be something to it. Listen, at the end of the day, the sooner this deal goes through, the better, because I'm sure that most of us are kind of done with the whole drama. Now, this particular report I actually find very interesting, because it's stark contrast to what a lot of journalists say. Because, like I said, the same day CMA published that report, there was like hundreds of articles basically saying, oh, the deal is not going through, it's done deal is not done, actually, as in it got blocked. But yeah, I mean, that's the difference between you know, the lawyers and journalists that don't necessarily know how to read these documents. I don't, and I don't claim I do. So I guess that's why I will go with these kind of guys. I guess they know better than I do. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.